Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do the March wrap up, aka the books I read in March. So in March I read a total of 4 books. They are very highly rated and I read so many of my new favorites. 3 of them are 5 stars. I know, right? And then 1 of them are 4.5 stars, which is still so high. So I'm going to start from the lowest rating, aka the 4.5 star, and then moving on to my favorite book of the month and possibly my favorite book of the year. So without any further ado, let's just get into the video. The book I rated 4.5 out of 5 stars is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nan. I read this book, loved it. If you don't know, this is a fantasy novel that is based on Asian culture. Every year there are 8 paper girls. Paper is like a caste in the entire country. So every year there are 8 paper girls chosen to serve the king. Not a way that a maid is serving him, but on a way that the girls serve him on bed to fulfill his sexual requirement? No, that's not the right word. What am I looking? I'm looking to require his sexual fulfillment. I don't know. Yeah, so you get what I'm trying to say. So this story features a female-female relationship. It also as well portrays a very strong female character, and I absolutely love the story. The only thing is that I am not very happy with the ending. I know the ending is not like bad, but I did expect it more, and I did expect a more rounded ending. If you know me, I'm the type of reader who doesn't care if there is a sequel to the book. I don't care. A book must have a good beginning and a good ending, no matter how many books you still have after this book. The ending wasn't specifically bad. I mean, I read worse endings, but this just doesn't meet my expectations. Some good endings examples are Jenny Han's To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy. Taylor Jenkins Reid also does very good endings, which I'll talk about it later. But yeah, I did expect more, and I don't care if there's going to be a sequel, if it's like a part of the trilogy series. I don't care. You just need to have a good ending, and this just doesn't meet my expectations, and I really did expect more and more all-rounded endings. So that's probably why that took 0.5 stars off. But except for that, I am completely on, and I just completely love the story, and I really am excited for the next book. Now we are moving on to the 5 stars book. I am very happy that I read so many good books in March, because I've been reading books that is like 3 stars, 2 stars, and I'm just not happy with that. I just really want to read something that's more of my taste, and this month is really good. And it is Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So you may notice it's in another language, Janice. I mean, yeah, I didn't read Illuminate in English, and that is the first thing I need to mention. If English is not your first language, or if you are not a native speaker, if you're still like in progress with your English, I wouldn't highly recommend you to read Illuminate in English. And I mean, I know a lot of people who is like a second language speaker. That's not a thing. They can read Illuminate and listen to it perfectly well. Maybe I'm just stupid, I don't know, but I just think it's worth mentioning is that because this book is told in a format that is rather diverse, it's not just like text we see normally on paper. A lot of time it's told by conversation and told by text and messages. So that's why there are a lot of phrases that I don't come across very frequently when I am reading. If you don't have like a perfect understanding on phrasal verbs or on other like texting phrases, I don't know if you get what I mean. If you're not like 100% into it, I would really recommend you to read the translation version of this book, because you would miss a lot of the fun while you're not understanding a lot of them. I have the English copy over there on my bookshelf, so I did sometimes when I'm over like a conversation page like here, I did open like the exact same page on the English edition, and I did like compare the translation, because I also have a translation class at school, so I'm like interested to see what's the difference. So sometimes I just open like both of the books and I see that something I read on the Chinese translation and I really didn't understand it on the English one, even though I understand exactly well what the words mean, but I don't understand the meaning when 2 words are put together. So yeah, that's just a slight thing that I want to mention, is that just if you feel like you can't get into the story, you may want to read a translation version of it, because that's worked for me, because I've been trying to get into this book for 3 times and it doesn't work, and until I read this book in the translation version, it doesn't make my day. This is a sci-fi. I mean, to me, when I was reading it, it completely had that movie dynamics feel, and it really feels like Star Wars or Avengers, especially Infinity War. Not like Infinity War vibes, but it's like the outer space vibes where you can vividly see all those fighting scenes happening. I never expected a book to do such movie thing that I'm just so awed while I was reading it. Before getting into this book, I don't understand why people love Aiden. Aiden is this artificial intelligence system that when I just started the book, I don't get why people love him, but if you read till the very end of the book, you get it. This book is very action-packed. You just need to get over the first like around 100 pages and then just like stuffing all the scenes into your face. It was so good. Highly recommend. I can't wait to read Gemina and Obsidio. I have the translated copy of Gemina already, so I will be reading it this month, and I can't wait to read another stories that is setting in the same universe. Now, moving on to the top 2 books of March. They are both by the same author, and one of them are new release. Does that ring a bell? Because I have a lot to say about these 2 books. And I did also listen to both books that I'm going to mention like in a second in audio. So I just love the audiobook so much, and I just love the story so much. So the book I have here is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So fun fact, I just received this book and the book I'm going to mention later last night. So the time I was first filming this video, I don't have the book with me, but now I have it, so I can like touch it and physically talk it with you. So, if anyone is wanting to read this book, I mean, you probably should, but I would just, you know, listen to the audiobook. Listen to the audiobook. It really brings so much of the character and the story and the plot out of this story. There are a total of 21 narrators in the audiobook, and I mean, can you just process how many narrators there are? And I just am pretty sure the director and producer done a very amazing job on this audiobook because it was phenomenal and magical. Daisy Jones, you can see on the title, and the Six is a band. They are combined together. Originally they are just Daisy Jones and the Six. They are like 2 individuals, and then they put together into one band. So they were very popular during the 70s, but when they're at the top of their career path, when they're just like so crazily popular, they're doing a tour, they suddenly separated, and they didn't give a reason why they separated. The author of the book, I mean not Taylor Jenkins Reid, the author in the story is writing a biography to put together the history why Daisy Jones and the Six separated. This book is told in an oral history format, and it's conducted mainly in conversation, and because it is in oral history, everything each person said might not necessarily be true, because it has happened so many years ago. So maybe a person will say that she wears a white tank top, some person will say she's like wearing a blue dress. It is not like 100% accurate, and you knew it going into it, and it is so interesting to see different people's perspective on a same event. I absolutely love the book. Taylor Jenkins Reid just has this thing to write a character that feels so vividly real. Like, it makes me so sad that I can not ever listen to Daisy Jones and the Six songs. After listening to this book, I have been on a Daisy Jones and the Six vibes for so long, and I'm still loving it. And I'm telling you, the Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper song, Shallow, reminds me so much of the vibes of this song, and I mean, just, you know, with all my heart, I'm all for this book. I'll love this book even more when I grow older, because I feel like I cannot capture all those complicated feelings at this point of my life. I'm definitely going to reread it soon with the audio, with like listening to audio and then reading the physical book together. I'm definitely going to do it soon. I know there are like people who love it and people who doesn't get the hype. That's okay, everyone has their own opinion, but I just really would recommend the audiobook to anyone who, even if you don't listen to audiobook, I would just highly recommend it. Now moving on to my favorite book I read in March. Also, one of those books that's possibly going to become my all-time favorite and also my favorite books of the year. And it is by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and you might be able to guess it by now. And it is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Where do I begin? I have a lot of feelings while I was reading this book. Evelyn Hugo is a very, very popular Hollywood star in the late 20th century. She has been this legend for so long, and obviously she has married 7 husbands like it suggests on the cover. She is also so stunningly beautiful. Like, that is all about her. She is so pretty and she is just such a legend in history. One day she contacted a magazine publisher, Vivant, to specifically require Monique, our also main character in the book. She specifically required Monique to write a biography for her. It really follows the interviews between Monique and Evelyn to try to find out the story of Evelyn and her 7 husbands and more. And I did intentionally not to pick this book up because I know it's like 7 husbands is just so obviously saying it's like about the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I was being like, this book really has nothing to do with me because I'm just like 15 and I really have no worries in like divorcing and marriage, like not at this point in my life. So I did not pick this book up, even though I know the entire booktube are raving about it last year. Now I've read it and I can so sure to tell you that it was so much more than 7 husbands. It talked about so many more other topics. I love Evelyn Hugo so much because she is so real. Taylor Jenkins Reid just has this power to make her characters feel so lively and real. Like, I really wish I could Google her and read her biography of her life, and I just really want to do that and watch her movies, but it's just a pain to be reminded that it's all just fiction. Evelyn Hugo, this character, she is so flawed. She is as flawed as you can think of. She repeats her mistake. She is really not a good person, I can say, and she just is a very, very morally gray character, and that's why I loved reading about her. She is so real because all the mistakes she makes, because how ambitious she is in Hollywood, that she just makes me believe all of these are real. I did not stop crying for the last 2 hours of the audiobook. I have been crying my eyes out, and it was just so touching. I never imagined a book about marriage and divorce and just like adulthood and love can really touch me that much, because I am not even like, I mean, I'm near adult, but like I'm not an adult right now. So I never imagined that a book like that could really touch me so much, and I am crying so hard that my eyes hurt. So if you're looking for a diverse book, because Evelyn Hugo is a Cuban woman and Monique is mixed race, if you're looking for some diverse book with diverse culture and also diverse relationship, check this book out. You just need to read it. It was so good. I mean, I'm repeating, I'm a bad reviewer because I just keep on saying it's so good, but like, yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it for today's wrap up. I know it's like turning really dark outside for I don't even know why, because it's like the weather is kind of weird. I don't know. I really hope you guys enjoyed this wrap up. If you have any of the books that you read recently and you loved, please comment down below because I would love to know. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!